Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. As I mentioned in my previous videos, these are testimonies of how the Holy Spirit has talked to me at various times in my life, whether it was through a dream or by me hearing His voice while I was awake. Now, this testimony that you're about to hear came to me through a dream, and this dream is named Mama. This dream God showed me was about 20 years before it actually happened. It happened, I had this dream when I was in my early 30s. That's the incredible miracle of God. You know, He can show us events that can happen instantly or futuristically. We just can't begin to understand how God works. So, this dream was shown to me in my early 30s, and it was 20 years before it actually happened. So, let me take you on my journey. I had a dream that my mother's mind was gone. Her mind was just gone. I saw her in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth in a childlike manner, unaware of who and where she was. I turned to my stepfather with tears in my eyes and I asked, "Papa, what is wrong with Mama?" Papa said, "Baby, I don't know." I went over and I kneeled down to my mom, gently took hold of her hand in the rocking chair and asked, "Mama, can you hear me? Do you know me? Mama, what is wrong?" My mama just kept rocking back and forth in the rocking chair, unaware of her surroundings. Then I woke up. My dream was over, but I cried so hard. I felt extremely confused as to why I had such a horrible dream. You know, what could this possibly mean? At that time in my life, I knew who God was, and I was a true believer in God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. You know, I truly love God, but I was not aware that He was showing me what was to come. I was not mature in my spiritual gifts of receiving His warnings, and I was unaware of the many spiritual gifts from God, which included premonition and prophecy, you know, just to name a few of them. But this was okay because God will always meet you where you are. And he met me where I was. So you just have to trust in Him, and you just ask for the faith the size of a mustard seed. I had that. I had faith the size of a mustard seed. I didn't understand anything, but I did have faith in God. So when I woke up, I called my mom after composing myself, and I told her about my dream. And then I asked, "Mama, are you okay? Is there anything wrong that I need to know about health-wise with you? How are you feeling mentally?" Child, my mama just laughed, and she reassured me that she was fine. And as a matter of fact, she was outside in her beautiful yard gardening, as she so often did. Her yard always looked as if it was a professionally done landscape, but it was all her doing. She loved being in her yard, pruning and gardening. That was her piece. My mama was one of the strongest, most beautiful women I've ever known. She was a chef. She was a hard worker. Her bookkeeping skills were immaculate, and she was sharp and a meticulous thinker. My mom's just her words and the way she spoke to you was just very beautiful because she came straight. Mama was straight up. She tell you straight up. She was one of those good old strong mamas. She was very intelligent, and she had a lot of street sense and a lot of book sense. You could not get anything past her, and believe me, I used to try. She used to say, "You have to get up pretty early to get over on this old bird." She would always say that, and she showed me and my siblings what the epitome of strength, beauty inside and outside, class and self-respect was as a woman. Now, her love for God was always known to all that knew Mama, because she always expressed to anyone how important it was to give God the honor and the glory for all we have. She was definitely a true follower of God, and she loved God dearly. So I just didn't understand why God would show me such a devastating dream about my mother who loved Him so dearly. So after talking to my mama, I felt reassured and I just shrugged the dream off like, okay. I just came to the conclusion that the dream was just me loving my mom so much and I never wanted anything to happen to her. So I made myself believe that the dream must be because I was missing her. Between work, marriage, and us raising my baby girls, I was always busy and I only visited mom like every other weekend. So I decided after that dream I will make a point to go see my mom throughout the week and that everything will be okay. It was just a worrying dream. And so I thought. So we fast forward, however. For some reason, that dream never left my mind. I never, ever forgot about it. As my mom aged, we began to notice that about 20 years later, after my dream, when she turned 21, mom seemed to forget conversations very easily. We could have just spoken about something or someone in a conversation, and about 5 minutes later, she would ask again about the same person or mention the same subject as if we never discussed it. Mom also stopped remembering certain things to do that were very familiar that she had done all of her life. So after noticing this and us not being in denial anymore, my mom and myself and my papa, we took my mother to a specialist, and mom was diagnosed with dementia at the age of 82. And this was heartbreaking and it was devastating. To see what this disease could do and did to my mama was exactly what God showed me 20 years earlier. You see, it was no surprise to God, but it was a surprise to us. I knew immediately what was happening, and I referenced to my dream when the doctor diagnosed my mother. What I realized is when God shows you a dream or talks to you, you never forget it. It always stays here in your head. You never forget it. And when it comes to pass or the event happens, it creates and it strengthens your relationship with God and shows you the magnitude of how real and alive God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit really is. Only God knows the next second in the future. We have no clue. It really leaves me, in awe and in wonder of the miraculous works of God. Sadly, but peacefully, our lovely mom passed away very soundly and again peacefully in her sleep, being beautifully cared for and loved by her family at the age of 89. Mama told us she would soon be leaving us and she was ready to go home to be with God. That was the love of her life. I know my mama right now is dancing and singing in heaven with Papa, who also passed away a year earlier from lung cancer. So God was clearly getting us ready. And I thank him so much for trusting me with the premonition that he gave me in my dream. I hope you enjoyed this testimony of my spiritual dreams and blessings from God. Tune in again to hear my next spiritual dream named A Co-Worker's Bed. You don't want to miss it. Please feel free to share any of my testimonies that you have received as well, and share things that you also have encountered, situations, premonitions, the Holy Spirit talking to you. Share it, because you never know how one word can help someone. We are all here to encourage one another. And don't forget about my book, Finding My Lost Soul. Finding My Lost Soul by Glenelle Randolph. I'm sitting outside. I'm sorry if the light is off. But you can purchase Finding My Lost Soul by Glenelle Randolph on Amazon.com in Kindle or hard copy, whatever suits you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more spiritual messages from God. Love and hugs to you all. And again, thank you so much for listening. See you next time.